our group, we call it Divine Noni Morning. In India, we have two important epics for information of our friends from outside, Mahabharata and Ramayana. In Mahabharata, the great epic war, it happens in Kurukshetra. That is only maybe 2 hours drive from this place. In Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna drives the vehicle carrying the great warrior Arjuna. So Arjuna has to be advised and guided by Lord Krishna to face the enemies within inverted comma. Those enemies were his, relatives, friends and well-wishers. And Arjuna asked a very pertinent question. I am really disturbed. My mind is disturbed. My body is aching. What I should do? And Lord Krishna advises him, do the right which your conscience tells you. You have the food. And then Lord Arjuna, the warrior Arjuna, asked this question. What is the best food for me in a crisis? So Lord tells him, the bitterest of the bitter. The bitterest of the bitter is the best food for you. This is a great statement from the Lord Krishna. Now when you evaluate plants, and every plant God has created as a medicinal value. In fact, when we review and teach medicinal plant, if you avoid rice and wheat, they have also medicinal value. And 3 plants come out very conspicuously. One is, of course, this divine Noni. And it is actually, in Ayurveda, they call Akshi. There is a reference on Akshi. And what is that Akshi? Whether it is something bitter it is, but what it is. And they say that it is actually this divine Noni. Because in Sanskrit, this plant is called Aich or Aishka. Aich, A-I-C-H or Aishka. Now Aich and Aishka, they are all given as a part of food and as a food supplement, not as a drug. Because it is not cures diseases, and that's why I come into the term of wellness here. What it is? The wellness is not the opposite of illness. It is something divine, something very special. You feel happy, mentally you are very alert, physically you are alright. So all those concepts come into this aspect of wellness and food. And you know the great statement of Hippocrates. Now Hippocrates says, food is thy medicine. The food you consume is thy medicine. So food has such a important aspect rather than giving you calorie or protein or fat and so on and so forth. It is thy medicine. Now when I say that food is thy medicine, it has certain connotations. Now what are those connotations? These connotations are summarized into 10 statements, which in Christianity we call 10 commandments, or in Hinduism again 10 practices, or by Buddhists they also call 10 practices. What are those practices? Along with many of these, because I take a little time in the introduction. Now the first and foremost is meditate and exercise. Meditate and exercise. This is important for you. Whatever drugs are given to you, whatever prescriptions are given to you, meditate and exercise. Second is drink 2 to 2.5 liters of water per day. Pure water, not your fridge water, not your ionized water, or not your distilled water and so on and so forth. Drink 2 to 2.5 liters of water. we say stagger your food from 3 to 5. Normally you have a very heavy breakfast, and noon you have a lunch, and night you have a light dinner. But in wellness group we say you stagger the same quantity from 3 to 5. You have something at 11 o'clock, something at 3 o'clock, but the quantity remains the same. It is better to be vegetarian. It is better to be vegetarian. Okay, fish is okay, but it is better to be vegetarian. And then be positive in your thinking. You may be given antibiotics, you may be given cancer therapies, chemotherapy, and so forth. So in your mind, if you feel, oh my God, it is not going to help me, you should have a positive thinking. And then again, our mentality of criticism. Avoid criticism, we say in our wellness. Avoid criticism. Be grateful to your teachers and peers and your parents. Respect your Mother Earth and manage your stress. So these are all again a part of our wellness activity, and which go along with this Noni, which I am going to elaborate you. Now, as I indicated, this has a Polynesian origin, and Polynesians, basically, when we think about the knowledge people who brought knowledge to the world, Polynesia has an important role. Hindustan, our Indus civilization, is important, and similarly Polynesian civilization important. Their primitiveness, their hardiness, and of course they were nomads. In fact, many of the they were all moving people from one place to another. So Polynesia is considered as a center of origin. It moves to our Andaman and Nicobar Islands. If you visit Andaman and Nicobar Islands, you will find a large group of these plants. In fact, during tsunami, 25th, about 4 years back, this was one of the few crops which survived tsunami. Your coconut perished, cashew perished, but not divine Noni. It is an integral part of temple sacred groves. 3 plants, Noni, Bael, B-A-E-L, and Tulsi. Go to Indonesian temples, South Indian temples, you find these 3 plants, very important for you. And similarly, Noni, Aich, Loran, Burma Fal, and many other. Morinda Citrifolia is the one on which we work. In fact, there are 113 species listed, and out of which 13 species are of Indian origin, and Morinda Citrifolia is one among them. It belongs to Rubiaceae family, where you have coffee. It has a 2N46, which indicates that it is a stabilized polyploid. And you have many. It is a tree or a shrub. The economically important parts of this particular plant, the leaves. You have Morinda leaf tea. It's a nice thing. It is available, just like your Moringa leaves in Philippines and Malaysia. They get, this drumstick. It has become so popular. You get a drumstick leaf. Drumstick actually is a crop originated in this area, Tarai area of Himalayas. So here that is different. This is Rubiaceae family, Rubiale tree shrub. The leaves are important. Bark is important. It's a Rubiaceae family. You get yellow dye. Many of our dyes, natural dyes, they are taken from the bark and the root of Rubiaceae family. So coffee family, beverages. So it belongs to that particular group. When I say coffee, there are so many advantages to it. You can prune it. You can train them to the way you like. These are all vernacular names which indicate that it is there and referred by many literature in many countries and many cultures and civilizations. it is called a headache tree in Saint Croix. And Samoa, it is called a Nonu. And in Indonesia, it is called a Nuna. And in India, we call Indian mulberry or Noni. Now, why it is called Indian mulberry? Indian mulberry it is called because, you know, Morinda Citrifolia, Morinda, Morus. Morus is your mulberry, Morus alba, and indica, so Indian. So that is why we call it Indian mulberry, and so forth. Australia is also a place where you have a lot of variability in Morinda Citrifolia, a large number of different types of fruits, colored fruits, height and so on and so forth, variations in morphological characters you get. Like that, you know, hog apple in Jamaica. We have a nice lady yesterday, she made an excellent presentation at Jamaica. So in Jamaica, it is called the hog apple. Thailand I mentioned to you, and Bumbo in Africa. As far as its origin, when we attribute divinity to it, this is a different dimension. When I say divinity, it's a different dimension. I quoted from Bible, I quoted from Mahabharata, I quoted from Ayurveda, and also I quoted in Sanskrit. So there is a certain element of mysticism and a certain element of divinity attached to these crops by people. Even it was told when in Indonesia, when lava flew, it escaped this particular plant, which were all documented. So those are all things, you know, which we call maybe mysticism, but certain things which human being at this present level of knowledge unable to explain. So we have these tropical countries, Indo-Pacific distribution. Your Eastern Polynesia, it is very much Melanesia, Micronesia, we have a program. In Micronesia, very good collections. Indonesia, I mentioned Australia, Southeast Asia, Central and South America, West Indies, and so on and so forth. This is the biodiversity of Morinda species, 113 species. And out of which 4 or 5 in India. There is one species which is actually a winey species. Father Brito in St. Joseph's College in Trichy is a very important taxonomist. He is a taxonomist of the genus Morinda, very well recognized. So he is with us and he gives the authoritative information on different species of Morinda. Sometimes even, in fact, this can be grown in this area, but it is very susceptible to frost, low temperature frost, and it will kill it. But there are species like Tinctoria. Many of our area in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and all, Western Ghat, you find Tinctoria. There is a different one. But I will show you the photographs. But what I refer as Noni or Divine Noni is Morinda Citrifolia. So this is the biodiversity of Morinda species, the distribution. It has a very global distribution. Now as far as its cultivation is concerned, this is a question mark. When we put these crops under cultivation, what happens to its bioefficiency? But it is being promoted by Ayush, the Department of Health. ICAR has a very important project as an intercrop in coconut plantations. There is an All India coordinated research project on palms, operational at Central Plantation Crop Research Institute of Kasaragod. So there, this is a mandate crop. They have put Noni as an intercrop of coconut. So these are certain states where the Noni is cultivated. It is grown professionally. And about 348 cultivars, means farmers, and over 653. This is the data collected from the data book of National Horticultural Board, Government of India. The historian background I mentioned in my introductory speech, that the plant was known for millennia for its beneficial effects on mankind. But recently, steps are taken to popularize and commercially exploit the underutilized shrub by different agencies. Actually, many organizations work on it. The 45 universities in the world, they have programs on Noni. And if you take a Google site, you will find lakhs of sites, lakhs of papers, not thousands, on Noni and its different aspects of it. Why we call it Indian Noni? Because of our mention in our Vedic literature, especially Ayurveda practitioners and Susruta Samhita and Charaka Samhita especially. Charaka Samhita especially, which they call Akshi. Charaka Samhita especially. So in the last few decades, Noni has come to receive ever-increasing attention from modern herbalists, doctors and scientists as evidence of its unusual healing property. And this is the product. Professor P.A. Peter is a therapist who has developed by over a long period of experience and which we market all over the country. Now these backgrounds I summarized in the history aspect. I mentioned that Morinda is known as Ayushta or Aish in Sanskrit, and the fruits were used in holistic medical tradition. This is very important. I emphasize again, this is not a drug. It is not against a single disease. It is an holistic thing as a protective coverage for you under certain set of ethical practices. Suppose you drink it and you take something which is not due to you. I mean, this is not going to give you happiness or wellness. So under those set of conditions, this will help you and bless you for your health. There are almost 40 recorded remedies still surviving which involve Noni plant with different combinations of root, stem, bark, leaves, flowers and fruit. Ancient healing manuscripts handed down from generations cite the Noni fruit as the primary ingredient in their natural health preparations. Now these are all compositions which have been analyzed, analytical composition, not the what we call absorptive capacity of the human being. These are analytical values, not the absorptive value which you should understand. So these are all vitamins and amino acids. 17 out of 20 amino acids are present in this one. And these are again bioactive compounds present in the Noni, the Noni fruit, and these bioactive compounds are reported, the classes and the bioactivity they have, and these are the references which indicate it. Similarly, this damna control, this androquinone anti-cancer property chemical is again present in this particular fruit. These are again their nutritive value, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, and so on and so forth. And again, we have the leaves which are there, the bark, and also the wood which is being used. The leaves I mentioned to you, the fruit, the green fruit, the leaves, and the root, rhizome, and seeds. It is a very highly selected fruit. You will get thousands of seeds, but those seeds do not germinate immediately. It has a period of dormancy. The fruits I mentioned, other uses. The ITK, I tell you, in this indigenous traditional knowledge, plenty on this, because that is what the heritage and the wealth of our country. On indigenous traditional knowledge, which we have, they use different parts of Noni plant in different combinations to heal ailments like that. So many are there. And Morinda Citrifolia in Bay Islands. This is a hardiness, versatile nature of Morinda in different situations. You can see on rock it grows. On rock this particular plant grows. And these are all, actually I mentioned to you about this temple tree. Many of those temples, now many modernization has happened. But in tribals, you find this. And the strength of Noni, which has been there, this is a photograph which we took during tsunami. And Rose Island in Andaman, this is the variability in India, which has been collected from different places. This is salt tolerant. This is basically a salt tolerant. You can grow it near the sea. You can grow it near the sea. And that is why this is a very potent material for research on genes for other uses. So it is a very important thing. Identification of different accessions for different conditions. We carry Central Agricultural Research Institute, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They have a good program on Noni cultivation funded by Ayush. Diversity of Morinda species in India. It has a functional food. Actually, Professor Pushpangadan is very close to us. So every year he makes a presentation. So I thought on functional foods I will be able to give you a small part of his presentation which he made in Chennai. Noni in Ayurvedic perspective, Noni fruit juice, recent researches on Noni. This is very important. Our product main which we market, about 200 items we market based on Noni. A few samples: Noni herbal soap, Noni herbal shampoo, then hair cream, face wash, eye care, Noni body butter. Very, we use it. Like that we have so many items we have. It's a original divine Noni platinum, basically for export to different countries. I am grateful to Dr. Pushpangadan, Dr. George and Amity for inviting me, and we had a very nice time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.